Before we start building on the subject matter for the day, man, hopefully y'all having a powerful Thursday and y'all got about 45 minutes to an hour to chop it up with the kid. Listen to this build. Y'all see the subject matter, man. This one of them topics where I tend to go in, but I'm gonna give y'all about 3 to 5 minutes to tap in with the kid before we start diving into this subject matter, man. So what's the word? Let me know how we living and feeling on this wonderful Thursday, man. Again, spontaneous. You know how I do it. I just pop up, go live, man. That's how I always moved, and that's how I'm gonna continue to move. But let me know how y'all living and feeling, man. I'm gonna give y'all a little time, man, to tap in with the kid before we start building. Montel, peace. What's happening? What's the word, my brother? How we feeling on this wonderful Thursday? What's happening? Y'all see the subject matter though, man. We dealing with religious propaganda, and they starting to strike again on us. So y'all know every time I bear witness to this propaganda, I gotta speak on it. Because this propaganda is real, the religious propaganda. Anytime they get a chance to push their agenda forward, they do it. So I gotta speak on it, man. I seen some posts floating around in the form of memes and some news articles and things like that. So I gotta tap in and build. Montel, man, everything is smooth, everything is peaceful. Everything is peaceful. JF, peace, what's happening? I've been I tapped in. It started with me seeing somebody post something about what's her name, Blac Chyna or whatever. Allegedly, not allegedly, but apparently she got some demonic tattoos removed and she done got baptized and things like that. And people, they talking about her turning her life over to Christ and leaving the wicked past behind, things like that, man. So when that stuff started happening, religious folks, Christians, Baptists, Catholics, or whoever the case may be, whatever they subscribing to, they can't wait to jump on that. They can't wait to jump on that, man. They cannot wait to jump on a situation like that. I seen a post on Facebook and was just like, I'm not going to paraphrase it, but at the end it was just like, God's glow is the best. So basically, when these entertainers leave that wicked past behind and they decide to turn their life over to Christ, there is no better glow than God's glow and things like that. And I just find that to be funny because I know a lot of sisters that are a part of non-Christ centered cultures, and they've been glowing for the longest. They've been glowing for the longest. They've been trying to put everybody on game for the longest. You know what I'm saying? They just don't get the recognition, the national recognition that they should get. But I know a lot of sisters that are a part of non-Christ-centered cultures, and they've been glowing. The world just don't recognize them. And we know why that's the case. They just don't get the attention that they should get. They don't get the recognition that they should get. And we know why that is happening. So we're not going to do that. We're not about to sit here and make it seem like the only way to glow is to devote yourself what they call the Abrahamic religions. Nah, it's plenty of sisters that's out here growing that are not a part of those religions. So we not finna do that. We not about to turn this into that. Now, if you got some of these entertainers and they, want to get baptized, want to get saved and join Christianity, become born again Christians, that's cool. But we not about to make it look like that's the only way that sisters can glow out here. And there is no better glow than that when we done had sisters that's a part of these non-Christ-centered cultures for the longest, that's been glowing, been trying to put everybody on game, been trying to inform these sisters and brothers in regards to the true history of themselves and their ancestors. So we not gonna do that. And I seen that post, and when I saw that, I was like, nah, we not going like that. We not gonna do that. We not gonna do it. Hey, if they want to get saved, cool. But nah, we ain't finna talk down on these other black cultures where these sisters been glowing and they and they don't know anything about a Christ. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. Magic, peace, what's happening? Montel, for sure. A lot of times it's definitely not genuine. You got to question the motives of any and everybody, especially these entertainers and these influencers when they start making moves like that. Get ink, peace, what's happening? What's happening? God is ISIS. Peace Queen. What's happening? You know, and I seen I seen somebody post the meme about, I don't know if it was Blac Chyna, but it was all these black women influencers getting saved and turning their life over to Christ. And that was my comment. You know, I said, what about our good sisters that are part of these non-Christ centered cultures that are glowing, that have been glowing? What about them? You know, we about to say, oh, that glow is the best. No, let's not do that. Again, I know some sisters that are tapped in to the original cultures, you know, things we were subscribing to before we dealt with the white man's religion. I know some sisters that deal with those cultures and they have been glowing. But again, the media is not going to recognize them, you know, so you're not able to see that glow. You're not able to see that glow. You're not able to see them out here shining and glowing because the media is not going to put them on full display, you know. But as soon as they say they getting baptized and saved and all of that, then the media can push them forward. The media will give them a little recognition, a little spotlight, you know. But if they tap in and stay true to the original culture, some of our original spiritual systems and things like that, no, you will not see them glowing. You will not see that. The only time you will see them in any type of headline, if it's some negativity attached to it. That's literally it. That's it. TZ, what's happening? What's happening, my brother? That's the only time. You know, but we got plenty of, it's plenty of underground sisters right now that's glowing, that's been glowing, talented. Some of the most talented individuals. You know, they just ain't getting that spotlight because they not out here born again. They not out here saved. They not out here repping Christianity. They not repping the Abrahamic religions. They not out here repping the Western religions. They not repping that, but they glowing though. You know, they glowing. Like, come on. Lindell, peace, what's happening? You know, so I don't like it. I don't like it when religious folks turn it into that. Like, that's when I gotta start speaking out and speaking up. When religious folks take situations like that and make it seem like, see, this is the true way, this is the true path, because you got influencers and entertainers gravitating towards a certain lifestyle. Man, that don't mean anything just because an entertainer or an influencer is subscribing to something. That don't make it the true path. That don't make it the only path. That don't make it the right path. That's just the path for them. We got plenty of influential people that's in the 5%, you know. But then you're not about to see me use that to justify people gravitating towards it or trying to convert them over to it. Say, hey man, we got all these influential people. We got Wu-Tang, got some members of the Wu-Tang. They've been repping it and things like that. So see, this the true way. Like, nah, you're not about to see me doing that. So we can't wait for like famous people. We can't wait for influential people to endorse our religion or our culture. Like, man, that stuff don't mean anything to me. You join something or you get down with something because it's right and exact. You know, it sits well with you, you know, for real. You don't go join something because you saw an entertainer join it. You know, you don't go join something because it looks cool, it sounds cool. You don't do that. You don't subscribe to a culture or a religion because somebody else did it. That's not why we do that. You subscribe to something because it resonates with you. That's why I subscribe to what I subscribe to, because I tapped in, I did studying, I researched, I looked within, and this resonated with me. So I'm like, okay, this makes sense to me. So this is the lifestyle for me. This is the culture for me. I didn't look at it and say, man, I hear Wu-Tang spitting those lyrics, man. I fool with Wu-Tang, so therefore I need to gravitate towards this. Like, nah, that ain't what I didn't do that. That ain't how I made my decision. Lord Cosmo, peace, what's happening? Montel, yeah, for sure. But again, see, this is the thing too. Pisces the King, peace, what's happening? Clocks in, peace, what's happening? This is the problem that some, it's keyword some. This is the problem that some religious folks, and not even just religious folks, people that's spiritual, all of that. This is the problem that some people have when it comes to these lifestyles, these cultures, these systems. They make it appear as if you don't subscribe to that way of life, then you cannot possibly be growing. You know, sometimes these religions say that indirectly. Some of them say that directly to your face. But when you are studying these religions, some of the, like in the doctrine, it tells you, like, look, if you don't subscribe, if a person does not subscribe to this, then they are a heathen. Like, they are not capable. You know, they are not worthy. You know, so you got to tap into that. So a lot of people feel like, man, if you don't subscribe to the system that I subscribe to, if you don't subscribe to the religion that I subscribe to, then you are beneath me. You can't grow. The only way that you can grow is by accepting such and such as your Lord and Savior, or accepting this truth that I read about. You know, so you got a lot of cultures and you got a lot of religious systems that's like that. If you don't subscribe to what I'm subscribing to, then there's no possible way that you can be growing. You can't evolve out here. The only way that you can truly grow and glow is if you accept what it is that I'm subscribing to, because this is the only true way. And that's trash. Ruben, peace, what's happening? That's trash, but it's propaganda out here, man. I know I saw the post I saw mention 4 black women talking about them becoming saved and turning their life over to Christ. I think it was like B. Simone, Alexis Sky, Blac Chyna, and Olivia Song or something like that. I think that was the post, and it had those four sisters on there talking about how they turning their lives over to Christ. You know, and how God's glow is the best glow, and all that good stuff. You know, which, hey, that's cool. If that's what they deciding to do, hopefully they elevate and they evolve and they become better versions of themselves. But again, please don't say that's the best glow. Like, nah, it's not. Like, there are other ways to glow, you know, and there's no one best way to glow. You know, whatever culture you subscribe to that contributes to your elevation and your growth, that's good. That's great. We got a lot of different cultures. We got a lot of different systems out here that folks can subscribe to that can contribute to somebody glowing, growing, evolving, progressing. Plenty of systems. Plenty of them. FH, peace, what's happening? You know, like I said, when I left the church, when I left religion, I started glowing and growing more than anything. And that's my truth. Somebody else's truth can be the total opposite. But I'm not about to say one way is better than the other. You know, I left religion. Once I left the religion, once I left all of that alone, that's when I started to evolve. That's when y'all started to notice the glow in me, or people started to notice the glow in me. You know, that's when I started changing up my life. When I left religion, you know, when I left all of that, because it wasn't for me. Somebody else could have a total opposite story, and I'm just fine with that. Back in the day, I might argue with you, but now it's like, nah. As long as this is working for you, you know, and you not talking crazy to me, like, we can chop it up on some historical differences and things like that. You know, we can have those type of conversations. You know, if you say something that's incorrect about my culture, then I'm going to correct you. But I'm not about to go out of my way to tell you, hey, what you subscribing to is trash. I used to do that. Now I may just tell you some things. I just deal with truth now. You know, so now I'm not trying to target any particular lifestyle and say, hey, yo, like this religion is trash, that religion is trash. Now we just gonna deal with the truth. And if the truth requires me to let you know some things about your religion or your culture that you might not like, then so be it. You know, so be it. You know, back then I was real specific. Like, I aimed towards certain groups. Like, man, I'm about to talk about these folks today. I'm about to get on the Christians today. I'm about to get on the Israelites today. I'm about to talk to the Moors today. Like, I used to be specific. I used to target certain groups. Now it's like, nah, we just gonna deal in reality. That's all I fool with. Dominique, peace, what's happening? Khalil, peace, what's happening? Exactly, clocks in. You know, the crazy part about it, man, we got famous people that then became Muslim. We got famous people, again, we got a lot of people that subscribe to the 5%, and some of them that got blackballed. Carmelo Anthony, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. Just look how they do it though. You know, when the chicks when they getting baptized and saved and born again, then that's positive news headlines. When Kyrie Irving posts, y'all already know where I'm going with it. When Kyrie Irving posts something about, black people being the original Jews, then he gets demonized, and he got to apologize for posting documentaries, for posting books. Carmelo Anthony rocks. Y'all know, man. Listen, if I had my cup on me, y'all can see the logo. Y'all know the flag. He rocks the universal flag, and man, Carmelo should be in the league playing right now, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? And come on, y'all about to get me started. Y'all about to get me started. It's cool when they getting baptized and all that good stuff. That's positive headlines. Oh, they removing demonic tattoos. But Kyrie Irving can't post a book about how we the original Jews. He ain't said nothing demonic. He ain't had no demonic tattoos. All he did was post a book, a documentary, and tell you to go research, just give you some research tools, something to read, something to look at. And he got to apologize. He got to apologize. That's why I say this stuff is all propaganda. It's all nonsense. See, that's when I have a problem with it. Let's deal in equality. Let's accept them for being saved, but let's also accept Kyrie Irving for posting what he posted. Not make the man apologize. Not make him feel bad for posting it. Professor Griffin, all of these folks get canceled. When they posting or talking about books dealing with the secret relationships between blacks and Jews. See, they can't talk about that. They can't bring that to the spotlight. But if they became born again Christians, then it's cool. Positive headlines. That's cool. That's accepted. That's accepted. But when we start talking a whole nother language, you get a sister that starts speaking a whole other language, tapping into her original culture, she got to apologize. She got to apologize. And that is what I don't like. That's what I do not. I don't like when they do that. I don't like when they do that. Kyrie Irving had to apologize. Dude almost lost everything because he posted something saying the original black people are Jews. That's crazy. But then they getting baptized, they removing demonic tattoos, all of this good stuff, and there is no problem, which is not a problem. But again, let us be able to rock the universal flag. Let us tell the world that the black people are the original people of the planet Earth, gods of the universe, things of that. Let us be able to speak that language too. Let us be able to tap in and speak that language. And y'all notice our glow. Y'all notice how we glow when we building on the mathematics and things like that. When we talking about hieroglyphs and all of this good stuff. The Metdu Netter, like when we start bringing things in that's connected to our original culture. Let's pay homage to those folks that's glowing by building on that. Dominique, 100%. And that goes into the 5% culture. It's a 5% in every group. Basically, to sum it up, I ain't going to give y'all the actual degree, but to sum it up, the 5% are the people that know and deal with the truth. This ain't just within my culture. It's a 5% everywhere. It's a 5, an 85, and a 10% everywhere. So even if you go to Christianity, it's probably 5% of the Christians that are actually true Christians that live according to the Bible. And this is Christianity, Catholicism, whatever. Whichever group follows the Bible, you probably got it's a small percentage of these groups that actually live according to the doctrine. Then you got 85% of the people in this same group that ain't read anything. They just professing to be that because they was born into it, because they parents are that, because they grandparents are that, blind, deaf, and dumb to the religion. They just grew up in it, and they just say, all right, man, I'm a Christian because my mama a Christian. I'm a Christian because my grandmother a Christian. That's the 85% within the same group. Then you got the 10%, which are the bloodsuckers of the poor, which are your pastors, your imams, your priests. So you got a 10%, you got a 5%, you got an 85% in every religion, in every culture. I guarantee you that. You got 5% of the people in every culture that actually lives according to the doctrine. You got 85 that ain't never read the doctrine. They only profess the title or the status because family, because of upbringing, because of culture, whatever the case may be. Then you got 10%, that's the blood suckers of the poor. That's the people that's, hey, they sucking the congregation dry. You know, they got you pouring your last into this collection plate so they can live in mansions and things along those lines. Whole while you can't afford to keep your lights on. Those are blood suckers. Every group, every culture has them. Come on. Every group, every culture has them. For real. Just analyze whatever you subscribe to. I guarantee you that only a small percentage of the people actually live it out truthfully. I guarantee, I don't care what you subscribe to. You could be a Rastafarian. I guarantee you it's only a small percentage of them that actually lives according to the doctrine. 100%. You know, guaranteed. Oh, Savetta, 100%. And that's why I say sometimes it's really hard for me to have those type of conversations with like Christians and people that believe in that. It's hard for me to have those conversations because I don't like that. You know, I don't like for a person to view me in that light. Like, I feel like that's unfair. You know, for you to basically condemn me to eternal flames because I view the world differently. Like, you can't respect me if you think the way that I'm living or the culture that I'm subscribing to is going to cause me to burn and suffer for eternity. How can you truly respect me when that's how you feel about what I'm subscribing to? I don't necessarily like that. I can see if you didn't like what I was subscribing to because you didn't feel like it was the truth and you gave me some evidence to back up why you say, hey, you subscribing to this, but I feel like it's inaccurate, it's incorrect. Here is the truth. Here is my research. But no, when you just saying, look, you not accepting my religion as truth, so therefore you gonna burn for eternity, like that don't disrespect me like that. Shabazz, peace, G, what's happening? Like, please don't disrespect me like that. Then that's when I'm gonna have to go in. You know, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Like, it's hard for you to truly respect me when you feel like the life I'm living is gonna cause me to burn and suffer for eternity. Like, that's, man, how you respect me? And that's how you gonna say you respect my beliefs, but you think my beliefs gonna cause me to burn for eternity? That you don't respect my beliefs then. Like, nah, you not accepting of me and my beliefs. Get in for sure. And hey, I'm always striving to do that. You know, I'm always striving to do that. You know, and that's part of learning. That's part of doing the knowledge, as we call it, studying, researching, so you can teach properly. You know, that's why I always say remain studious so you can teach the truth. It's hard to teach the truth when you don't know it. You know, so you gotta gather the facts, gather the data, and then you teach. Dominique, for sure. What about our great ancestors? That, you know, man, I ain't even gonna get into that. You know, but it's a book by John Jackson called Man, God, and Civilization. And he talks about our early ancestors and how our early ancestors didn't have any time to come up with any type of religious beliefs and philosophical beliefs and systems and things like that. They was too focused on survival. You know, so they didn't have any time. They didn't have time to pray to gods and create gods and things like that. They had to survive, fam. Like, they had to survive. They was out here in the wilderness and they had to survive. You know, so they didn't have time to create these systems that we have today. So now they got to get penalized because they was placed in a situation where they had to survive and they didn't have time to think or create these systems. No. Come on now, but get that book, Man, God, Civilization. He talks about that. He talks about the early ancestors and how they didn't have time to create these intricate belief systems because they had to survive. You know, they had to go out here. They had to get food. They had to build houses. They had to do all of this good stuff. You ain't had time to sit around and think. Oh, how did everything come into existence? Oh, it must have been like they ain't had time for that. They ain't had time for that. They had to survive. They had to stay on point. You know, they was out here in the wilderness with animals that'd kill them if they wasn't on point. So they had to be on point. They had to figure out the wilderness. They had to figure out life and how to survive. Lindell, you say, do you feel reality TV became a problem because of its copycat impact on the minds of some of our sisters? Reality TV is a bunch of BS. Always has been, always will be. Nothing is real about it. All of it is scripted. You know, reality TV pretty much became a problem as soon as it came into existence. As soon as it was born, reality TV was a problem. You know, but I talked about that with somebody. You know, I said now we got Instagram and YouTube and things like that. But I said before we had any of that, you had reality TV. That was like reality TV back in the day was like vlogs. You know, when people get on YouTube and film their lives, and people get on Instagram, and you know what I'm saying? Like that was that back then, like you watching the real world and things like that. Like reality TV was that for us back in the day. But all of that stuff was trash. All of that stuff was scripted. Bunch of drama. You know, every time, how you mean tell me every time these folks get together, it's some perfectly laid out drama. Man, that's scripted, man. That's scripted. Come on. You know, every time these group of people get together in this house, man, we got just some perfectly laid out drama. Come on. But yeah, reality TV is trash, man. It's 100% trash. 100% trash. I'm not even gonna say 100 like that, man. I ain't gonna give them 100. I'm gonna say 90% trash. Cause you could take the best part from anything. So I ain't gonna say a full 100. I'm gonna say 90% though. And I ain't even gonna say you can still attach the reality to it. You know, because that is reality. A bunch of people following a script. You know, a bunch of brainwashed individuals following a script. So in a sense, that is reality. you know, that is how the masses live. So I ain't even gonna say that. That is reality though. A bunch of brainwashed people being told what to do, being told what to say, being told what to get angry about, following the script. That is reality. You know, so that is reality TV. They right and exact. That is definitely reality. That is a reflection of reality. That's a reflection of society. That's right and exact. Yeah, beliefs and faith and all of that. Of course, it's not based on any type of reality or truth. And again, if that's how you want to rock, that's cool. But please don't make a person feel bad because they not they don't subscribe to these terms and concepts. They don't have the faith that you have. Like they don't believe what you believe in. Like, dude, you know, when we start tapping into the definition of these words and these concepts, it's like, man, come on. I don't be wanting to hurt people's feelings like that, man. But when you tap into the definition of belief and the definition of faith, man, like, come on. It has nothing to do with truth. You know, it has nothing to do with that. So your faith is just that. It's faith. That don't necessarily equate to it being true. Nor does it equate to it really being a reality. It's just your faith is something that you believe is true. It don't make it true, though. But again, if you want to believe it, that's cool. But don't start walking around like it's 100% true. Like, no, it's your belief. It's your faith. All clocks in, man, for sure. I didn't, for real. I didn't had, you already know. Been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? Been there, done that. You, like I said, you don't subscribe to these Abrahamic religions or whatever the case may be. You worshiping, you a devil worshiper, you all of that. You know, I've been there, done that. You know, that's how out of tune we are. That's how out of tune we are with ourselves, with our true original identity and culture. Like, you don't subscribe to any of the Abrahamic religions. Like, oh, that's you, the devil. Even if you subscribe to some of the Abrahamic religions, you know, some people will still be like, ah, you heathen, you pagan, all that. which paganism just means a person with a different belief. But yeah, you know, they have attached negative energy to that word. Lindell, you say, do you feel the Bible can brainwash an individual? Yes, and it has. And again, that ain't even to speak negatively of the book. Any book that's read by a group that by anybody can brainwash them. You know what I'm saying? Any book that you read can brainwash you. The Bible can brainwash a person. The Quran can brainwash a person. Anything can brainwash a person. So most definitely, the Bible can and it has brainwashed people. And it has created very contradictory individuals. You know, because the Bible itself has a lot of contradictions within it, especially when you combine the Old Testament and the New Testament. It's a lot of conflict. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of contradictions in it. You know, so you following, and to the point where you even have separate groups. You have people that subscribe only to the Old Testament, and you have some people that subscribe only to the New Testament. That's how conflicting the Bible can be when you combine them. You know, you got the Old Testament telling you to eat like this, telling you not to eat this. Then the New Testament telling you everything that was once deemed unclean is now clean. That's conflict. That's a conflict. That creates confusion. How do I know this? Because I have taken Old Testament classes, New Testament classes. I've taken plenty of theology classes, so I know about the conflicts. But unfortunately, when you are in a private school, a Lutheran institution, Catholic institution, you can't ask these questions. They put you out the class. I was reading Carmelo Anthony's book, and he said that if y'all don't know anything about his story, he went to a Catholic high school before he ended up at Oak Hill, and he said that he was like, man, they was threatening to kick him out the school. Like he was like the vice principal had it out for him, all because he asked questions in theology class. You know, he wasn't accepting everything that they was telling him in the theology class. So he was like, man, he just asked questions. He was like, why is what y'all saying different from what my mother is telling me, or for what my brother is telling me? Like, this ain't adding up. Like, what y'all believe in sounds a little bit different than what I was taught to believe. You know, and he was just asking questions, and he wasn't coming from a place of trying to start trouble. He was trying to gain an understanding. And he said they was telling him, like, look, you can't question what we telling you. You just accept what we telling you as truth. You know, that's what, man, I'm telling y'all. If y'all haven't read Carmelo Anthony's memoir, go read that. But he said that, and I resonated with that heavy, because I was in the private school where they was teaching us all this type of stuff, man. And when you had a question and you question it was a problem. It was a big problem. Like, man, you better not question what we teaching you about this Bible. You know, and that was real. That's real talk. For real. So, yes, the Bible can brainwash folks, and it has brainwashed folks. Any culture can brainwash a person, and they have brainwashed an individual. You know what I'm saying? Even when I got within the 5%, man, I wasn't just finna let anybody tell me anything. You know, I wasn't finna I just wasn't finna have folks telling me how to move, telling me what I can have my name to be, things like that. Like, nah, y'all ain't nobody finna do that to me. If that's the case, then I'll take my talents elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to you whether you allow something to brainwash you or not. I know plenty of people that subscribe to the Bible, but they haven't let the Bible brainwash them. But I know plenty of people that have let the Bible brainwash them. Same with the Quran. You know, when you look at a book, and this is what I mean by that. When you subscribe to a book and you make it seem like the truth can't come from any other source other than this book, that's brainwashing, man, because that is just not true. You know, if you want to take a lot of your truth from this book, if you want to take your lifestyle from this book, that's cool. But do not act like you cannot gain any ounce of truth from any other source. That's ridiculous. That's brainwash. You brainwashed at that particular moment. When you act like you can't take an ounce of truth, an ounce of anything else from any other group, book, culture, whatever the case may be, now it isn't got real. Now you getting brainwashed. Sweet Tea, peace, what's happening? Review, peace, what's happening? Cribbing 2 times, peace, what's happening? JD, what's happening? Oh, Savetta, man. Hey, I'm trying to tell you. You know, you see the locks. You know, so hey, you already people. They didn't thought I was a Rastafarian. You know what I'm saying? People think I'm a Rastafarian. People think I sell drugs. I be getting all type of labels just based off of how I look. Crazy, you know. But them wanting to change. Like this is another thing that I'm not too fond of. When you go and unfortunately this happens a lot when I got to go. You know, when my people go back home to Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? When they know you don't subscribe to the religion, and then you know your family get together and they start praying for the food or whatever the case may be, and it's almost like the words are directed right in your direction because they know you here, they know you in the building, and they start talking about the folks that are non-believers and things like that. It's like, man, don't do that. You know, just do your normal prayer, fam. do your normal prayer. Fam, it ain't really about mixing religions. See, this is the thing we got to understand. Studying and researching is not mixing. You study and research to discover what's true. So again, if you subscribing to anything that's going to prevent you from uncovering the truth, then you are brainwashed. Because I'm not studying things so I can mix things. Like, no, I'm studying something so I can find the truth. So we got to understand that, man, if you subscribing to a culture that got you afraid to study and research other things, you brainwashed, fam. You need to walk away from that. I'm not going to subscribe. I'm not going to attach my name to anything that got me afraid to seek the truth. And that's all that studying and researching is doing. That don't mean you mixing cultures. No, that means you are eliminating things. Like, this can't be true because I done read this, I done studied this. So I'm about discovering what's true. I'm about discovering the truth, man. That's what I'm doing. And fortunately enough, we got a lot of people that then walk this planet, then walk this earth, that then left documents behind, that then left work behind that we can study and we can uncover some truths. So some things don't have to be a mystery to us. Because we have some great ancestors and some great elders that then laid down some foundations and then put in work for us to study. You know, so some things we don't have to be it don't have to be a mystery to us, fam. We can study it and we can uncover the truth because we didn't have people to walk the walk and provide us with the work. You know, so I make sure I go out of my way to tap into some of this work that was left behind. Tony, exactly. That's exactly what you should do. You know, that's what I did. You know, I'm studying all different type of systems. I'm seeing the similarities. You know, I'm seeing the differences, things like that, man. Like, that stuff is good to know. Because this is one thing I tell somebody. It's one thing to say I don't subscribe to something. But it's another reason to know why you don't subscribe to it. That's when you become more powerful. Just saying you don't subscribe to something, but you don't even have a reason why, like, that's nothing. But when you say, look, I don't subscribe to this because of, that means you didn't put the work in. You know, so you got a lot of people that they don't subscribe to certain things just because they might have heard somebody else say they don't subscribe to it. But when you got a legitimate reason why you don't subscribe to something because you done put in some research, you done studied and say, man, I studied Christianity and here's what I found. This is why I don't subscribe to it. You know, and based on my experience along with what I study, this is why I don't subscribe to it. You know, when you got a legitimate reason, legitimate answer for why you don't subscribe to a certain lifestyle, that's right and exact. You done did your due diligence. But don't just shun something. Don't just shun something just because. You ain't never tapped into it. I don't like when people criticize the nation of gods and earths and you ain't never lived it. You ain't never seen not one of the lessons that we taught to memorize. You ain't talked to any of us on a personal level to try to see what our viewpoint and our perspective on life is, but you want to criticize it without knowing. That's taking things on face value. Don't do that. Like, don't do that, man. If you haven't immersed yourself in a culture, then you don't know anything about the culture. I tell people all the time, if you want to know how the guys rock and roll, if you want to know how some of us view life, chop it up with one of us. Don't go online and start trying to figure us out. Don't go on Facebook and think you got us figured out. No, find one that's making some sense. Chop it up with them. That's how you do it. Chop it up with them. You condemning a whole culture that you really know nothing about. Do the knowledge to it before you condemn it. You know, that's all I'm saying. You know, don't condemn me and you don't know anything about the culture. What's crazy is I remember one of my first clients that I ever trained. We had the conversation. It was real random because she was overly religious. And you know me, I'm not getting into that at work at all. So I'm gonna let you say what you say. I'm not about to tell you, hey, you know what, woo, woo, woo. But somehow she came and she asked me about something. And I broke down the lifestyle to her. And once she actually sat and listened to me explain what it is that we actually fool with and rock with, she was like, oh, that's not as bad as I thought. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if you look us up, if you have heard something about us, more than likely it's incorrect. But when you actually talk to one of us in the physical, then you're like, oh, this ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? This ain't that bad. Not meaning she was finna convert over, but she was like, oh, now I get you. Now I got it. She was just going off of hearsay, you know, people not being a part of the culture, speaking about the culture. She was going off of that. But I was like, nah, man, it ain't what you think. Tony, for sure. Man, listen. Most of the books I read, I'm pretty sure most of these folks, Christians, Catholics, whatever. Not many people, most of the books behind me, not many of them were 5%ers. Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? Nat Turner. These people, they profess to be Christians, things like that. Like, for real. So I'm definitely not against it. Like I say, back in the day when I was coming into a lot of truths, I'm ready to argue with folks. You know what I'm saying? But I'd be lying if it wasn't some people that been influential in my life that held the label as Christian or Baptist. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Catholics, I ain't, you know, that's a whole different, I don't too much care for that. And the Lutherans, because I went to the private school I went to was Lutheran and the college I went to was Catholic. You know, I could do without that. You know what I'm saying? But black folks going more than likely gravitate towards being a Baptist or a Christian. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. But yes, we got black Catholics and black people that Lutherans and Protestants and all of that. But for the most part, black people going to be either Christian or Baptist. FH, you already know. Yeah, that's part of my reality and part of why I made the transition that I made, because I just saw too much nonsense going on. West, and that's the thing. And I'm not gonna say, like, this is the thing, because I obviously got a different perception towards what prayer actually is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a whole different perception. But man, again, if you think that if that's something that works for you, if you bear witness to it working for you, then cool. You know, I feel like prayer is one and the same with affirmations. You know what I'm saying? Speaking things into the universe. That's what I feel like it is. Because again, man, I didn't read some books, you know. I didn't even read some books, but I dabble with science a lot. You know, and again, I got a book right here. This health book right here. I could literally pray to this book every night. I could pray to this book. I could direct all my prayers to whatever is in this book. And it's going to be some good things that happen to me after I do that. I can contribute everything to my prayer towards this book. How could you tell me that I'm wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you tell me I'm wrong? If I pray to this book every night and some good things start happening to me, and I say, man, good things ain't start happening to me like this until I started praying to this cellular wellness solution book. And so I attribute all of my success to this book. How could you tell me I'm wrong? You really can't. You know what I'm saying? You really can't. So I look at it as just affirmations, man, just speaking positivity into the atmosphere. You know, that's what prayer is for me. So yes, it's science behind that stuff working. You know what I'm saying? It's science behind people pray to different things each and every night. You know, and all of these people have good things happen to them. They have bad things happen to them. You know, and it's people that don't pray at all that still have good things happen to them. So we got to start answering these things, man. You know, we got to start looking at it like that. So yes, prayer may work for you, or you may bear witness to prayer working for you, but I know people that don't pray and they have just as much success in life as a person that prays all day. You know, so again, whatever works for you works for you. I know people that don't do affirmations, that don't pray, don't do none of that. They just live. They just put in work. You know, they just put in work. They just do good deeds. They just be a good person. They just put in work, and they live very successful lives. So that's another reason why I don't just subscribe to one thing. That's why I don't just say, oh, prayer works. Oh, meditation works, as if these are the only things that work. You know, it may work for you, you know, or it may work for that person. But there are a lot of different things that could be utilized to attract a certain life to you, to attract health to you. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's prayer, whether it's meditation, whether it's affirmations, whether it's just living, being the best person possible. All of these things potentially could work. All of these things do work. It ain't even potentially. All of these things do work. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to look at that. Like, we got to answer questions as to, hey, why are there people that don't pray that still attract a nice life to themselves? Why are there people that don't pray that still live a peaceful life? You have these realities. So as long as we have these realities, we got to say, man, it ain't just one way. You know? So I'm never going to say, oh, prayer doesn't work, or prayer is this, that. Yeah, it works. If you believe in it, it's placebo. If I believe in something like that to work, it's definitely going to work a few times for me. It may work all the times for me. It's placebo. Placebo. Just like people swear by sage, affirmations, crystals, all these things. I don't do any of this. You know what I'm saying? Well, I might do the affirmations, but like the sage, crystals, like that ain't my speed. Like, I don't go out of my way to do these things. But it's people that swear by them, you know, people that have these rituals. And I done seen people from other groups talk bad about folks that do that. I got a cousin, you know, she made a post about sage, crystals, and all of this. And man, they was telling her all of that is demonic under the post. I was like, hold up. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. She doing the sage, clearing out the spirit, so she thinks she doing, you know what I'm saying? And it's working for her. We ain't about to say that's demonic, though. It's working for her. Obviously, it has led to her evolution, her elevation, her growth. They was under that post saying that's demonic. That's devil worship, all of that. Fam, what? See, that's when I got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when I'm going to get on the religious folks. Don't do that. Now, if that's working for Cuzzo, let it work for Cuzzo. Just like prayer is working for you. She found something that's working for her. Do not call it demonic. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, please don't do that. Chris, peace, what's happening? You know, that's my only thing with it. You know, the culture we say dealing equality. Dealing equality. You know, and that's how I like to look at it. That's how I like to look at it. But yeah, man, I just look at prayer, man. That's like self-talk. You know, that's an affirmation, man. That's you speaking out loud to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all of that. That's how I view it. So, of course, man, you definitely can attract some things to your life with that. And if you feel like the reason why is because you prayed to your higher power and he gave it to you or provided you with it, man, that's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's cool with me. Man, cribbing 2 times, man, I'm trying to tell you that's my life. Man, listen. And they even tell you when you start studying the subconscious mind, laws of attraction, any of that. Like, they tell you don't obsess with affirmations. Don't do it. Plant the seed and live your life. Like, they tell you, don't spend too much time trying to attract things to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. Plant the seed. Get up in the morning, plant your seeds, and live your life accordingly. Man, that's all I do, man. When you live your life, when you do what's right and exact, when you have good intentions, fam, good things come to you. Like, literally. Like, it ain't no, like, we ain't gotta make everything spooky, fam. When you live a good life, good things gonna happen to you. And still some bad things gonna happen to you. But again, if you extract a lesson from the bad things that happen to you, then it wasn't so bad after all. You know, so man, things just happen to you. And you place a label on the things that happen to you. So boom, you living your life, something happens to you. You say, oh, that was good. Oh, that was bad. That's life, man. Whether you do an affirmation, whether you pray or not, you going to live life and things will happen to you. Things that you can perceive as good, things you can perceive as bad. You cannot do an affirmation for the rest of your life. You cannot pray for the rest of your life. I guarantee you, things will still happen to you, good and or bad. Guarantee you. Based on the way that you live. Based on the energy that you dishing out. I guarantee you. Guarantee you. I guarantee it, you know. So, hey, I know I've grown as an individual. Like I say, man, I used to go to war with not even just Christians, man. I used to go to war with every group. You know, I used to go to war with Christians, with Hebrew Israelites, with Moors, man, actual Muslims. Man, I used to go to war there. I used to get into it with everybody. You know, once I started tapping in, I used to get into it with everybody. And a lot of time when I say get into it, it wasn't like I was trying to go out of my way to start trouble. I would come into things, I would ask questions. And a lot of times these questions would lead to a back and forth. You know, because I ask you one question, you give me an answer, I'm gonna have another question. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a scientific approach. And that's what I used to do. You know, but after you start asking certain questions, like people start getting mad instead of answering the questions. You know, and that would lead to some back and forth and things like that. But a lot of times, man, I just had questions. You know, I don't care what the lifestyle was. You know, I was gonna ask a question. I wasn't about to just let you tell me something because you an authority of this lifestyle and I'm about to accept it. Like, nah, we're not gonna do that. You know, I used to, whatever you could think of, I used to get into it with folks over. As far as their lifestyle, you know, but now I've grown. Like I said, now it's like I'm uncovering the truth. You know, I'm uncovering what we need to do to be healthy. I'm uncovering what happened to us in the past. You know what I'm saying? And what's happening to us now. You know, I'm uncovering these things. You got to study what happened to us in the past so that you can determine why we are the way that we are. You know, so I'm always striving to study history so that I can get a better understanding of the current reality. And that's just what I do. You know, that's what I do. So I'm studying the truth. You know, I'm studying the actual facts. You know, and all the other things, when it comes to, like, when I'm reading stuff about philosophies and spiritual systems and things like that, then it's like I acknowledge it as such. It's something I may believe, meaning that it's not necessarily the truth. It's like when I say, it's like when you giving your opinion on something, you say, in my opinion. So when it's something like that, then I acknowledge it as that. I don't speak from a standpoint of, if it's something I believe, I'm gonna speak like it's the truth. No, I'm gonna tell you, I believe, or in my opinion. That is how I will acknowledge these things when it comes to philosophies. You know, when it comes to things that I may believe in and I don't have any evidence of, then I must acknowledge it as that. I believe, in my opinion. So that way, now if you have a problem, then it's something personal, because I told you it was my opinion, or I told you it was my belief. When I acknowledge it as such, then it's like, dude, I'm not telling you to accept it as truth. I'm not telling you that it is the truth. I'm telling you that it is my belief. So you got to be mindful of how you even announce certain things. And I'm very mindful of that, or at least I strive to be. If I know that it's something that I believe that I don't have any evidence of, or even if I may have personal evidence of, but I know I don't have any historical evidence to back what I'm saying, it's just something that I personally believe, you know, I'm going to acknowledge it as such. I'm not about to tell you, hey, this is my belief, it's the universal truth. It's not. It's something that I believe. You know, and that's what I acknowledge everything that I believe as such. Even when I talk about actual facts and things that you could I let people know, hey, don't take what I'm saying on face value. Research it, and I'm gonna give you the evidence. Every Christian, you talking to the wrong person, because I don't subscribe to any form of heaven or hell other than them being states of the mind. What they say, heaven is what you make it, hell is what you go through. So that tactic will not work on somebody such as myself. It may work on somebody else, but that's not going to work for me. I'm not concerned with a heaven or hell. I'm concerned with living my best life while I'm on this planet. That's all I do. I strive to be the best person that I can possibly be. I strive to treat everybody with respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I strive to be as peaceful as possible. So I don't subscribe to anything that happens after I'm gone. I'm dedicated to being the best version of myself while I'm here. That's all I'm worried about. Anything other than that, I can't speak on it. I can't tell you where I was at before I came into existence, so I'm not gonna speak on where I'm gonna be after. You know what I'm saying? So all I can speak on is what I've done while I've been here and what I'm doing now, what I'm saying to you now. I don't concern myself, I don't obsess with what happens after I'm gone. All I can do is strive to do the best that I can do and be the best version of myself that I can be while I'm here. If that leads to something positive while I'm gone, cool. If it leads to something negative while I'm gone, also cool. If it leads to nothing while I'm gone, also cool. These are all possibilities. These are all possibilities. So I just know, let me put good energy in the atmosphere while I'm here. That's all I'm concerned about. That's it. That's all I'm concerned about. Putting good energy into the atmosphere while I'm here. That's it. Cribbing 2 times, man, 100%. I actually I used to semi-clash with my moms when I first started to come into the knowledge, when it came to all of this. You know, to the point now where mothers don't even be asking me questions. Like you said, it's a respect level, man. I don't be wanting to do that to them. My biggest problem be around, like, holidays. You know, I don't really like holiday vibes. You know what I'm saying? I don't be liking holiday vibes, and like the holidays literally are some BS. As far as like, it literally be some BS, fam. Like, for real. You know, you really shouldn't be fooling with these holidays, you know, especially us black folk. You know, so that's the only time where it be kind of hard for me to hold my tongue. When they start telling the babies, like, this is why we celebrating this, like it's true, but it's not. And you shouldn't be celebrating anyway according to your doctrine. So like that's when I be having a hard time holding my tongue. Clock in, you say, how did you come into the lessons? Oh, man, I came into the lessons right after I graduated high school. When I came into the culture right after I graduated high school. When I told y'all, man, I was having an identity crisis. Man, I was really trying to get to the root of who I was, you know, and my purpose in life. You know, so I started to read, and I'll never forget it. I had a Barnes and Noble right around the corner from my parents' crib. Barnes and Noble, it was right around the corner, I'm talking about walking distance. That mug shut down now. So I started that summer before I was about to head off to college. You know, I started reading. The first book I read, obviously, the autobiography of Malcolm X. Then I went back to that Barnes and Noble, and ironically enough, they had a book called The 5 Percenters by like Michael Muhammad Knight or something like that. Now that book is some garbage. Like, if you trying to get hip to the culture, we don't even recommend that book. But I didn't know it at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know the dude that wrote it was a white dude. Like, I didn't know this stuff at the time. I just saw 5%. I'm like, man, what is this? So I tapped in. And then I'm a hip hop listener. So then I started thinking about some lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like, the one that came to me was the Life's a Bitch, Nas and AZ. We were beginners in the hood as 5%ers, but something must have got in us because all of us turned to sinners. I was like, oh, hold on. I was like, he said that in the song. So then I see this book. So these things, like, this is stuff that's sticking out to me. You know, so I'm paying attention to signs. It's a reason why that book stuck out to me. So I say, man, let me grab this book. So I grabbed that book. I read that book in like 2 days. And, man, what they was talking about in that book, I say, man, I got to find out more about it. So I got online at the time. I got on Facebook at the time. I started saying, I was like, man, I need to connect. I need to connect with some 5%ers, woo woo. And this was at the time where I had my Facebook page under the name Illuminati Bell. So I was friends with a lot of people from everywhere. So it was a brother from New York that I was friends from. And you know, that's the mecca of that culture. That's where that culture originated from. You know what I'm saying? So it was a brother from New York that was friends with me. And, man, he pointed me in the direction of my enlightener, the person that gave me the lessons. I was like, man, do we got any of the 5%ers in St. Louis? I was like, I gotta know. I gotta connect with him. And he pointed me in the direction of my current enlightener. And from that point, Once I got connected with him, that's when I started to walk through the lessons. And it was a wrap from there. But I literally, man, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I think I read Message to the Black Man. And then I read that 5%, the 5%er book, which that ain't even the book that we recommend like that. But I read it, and the stuff that was in it, I was like, I ain't never heard, hold on, I ain't never heard this real quick. You know, and then I started to inquire. I was like, man, I got to find out more about this coach. So I got online and I started networking. And man, from that point on, I walked through the lessons. It took me a little longer than I wanted to walk through the lessons because I was in college, man. I was just a bunch of stuff going on, you know. But yeah, man, I completed the 120 years ago, you know, which are the lessons, which I got them right here. I keep the lessons on me. You know, we had to memorize them, you know, and that's why I say, like, we got to memorize the lessons before we get the, you know what I'm saying, the lapel, before we get, you know, before we get our things, you know. So you gotta memorize the lessons, fam. So just imagine if folks had to memorize the Bible, memorize the Quran before they could be an official Christian or a Catholic or a Muslim. Man, you wouldn't have many of them. You know, I know, when I was studying monks, you know, monks had to memorize certain scriptures, certain things, you know, pertaining to their culture in order for them to go to a next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had to memorize things, you know. So this is age old. Man, Clock said, I'm gonna tap in with my sources, man, because we know people everywhere. So I'm gonna tap in because I'm pretty sure it's got to be some out there. Pretty sure. Sada for sure. You know, we connected with you know, I love my NOI brothers and sisters for sure. Most definitely. For sure. I got plenty of brothers and sisters that rep the NOI. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are my brothers. Those are my sisters right there. For sure. For sure. You know, but hey, I didn't put in this work. I tell people all the time, man, I'm not like something like you got a lot of these hip hop folks, they ain't really walk the walk. They speak the language, like they didn't been around the language, and they putting the language into the music and stuff like that, but they ain't really walk the walk. They ain't went through the lessons and things like that. You know, I could go show y'all my stamp of approval, you know. Yeah, I can go show y'all the lapel that we can wear. As a matter of fact, I can go show y'all that. Let me grab it. Y'all know we keep the things on deck around here, man. I don't be wanting to wear it because I don't be want to lose my joint. You know, but you become official, man. You get joints like this. You know, y'all see my joints, man. It's official. Like I got these joints when I completed the 120, when I knowledge the lessons, when I memorized everything. I got these joints. I got a bag, and I got a cup that I drink out of every day. You know, so I'm official with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm official. When you see this, when you see one of us rocking these on the shirt, we official with it. You know, so hey, hey, listen. When I say this is my way of life, like, I mean that. So when somebody speaks disrespectfully about it, that's why I'm gonna go hard. Because, man, I walk the walk. You know, I completed the lessons, man. I memorizing them lessons wasn't no joke. Especially what they call meat degrees. Man, degrees that's about taking up a whole page. You got to memorize them verbatim. You can't miss one word. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, you on the hot seat. Imagine that. You know, so I don't like people to talk bad about a culture. You know what I'm saying? That where I done had to walk the walk, when I done had to do these things. If you lack an understanding, just ask the question. Just talk to us. But don't just assume things about us. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't disrespect us without knowing. Don't even disrespect us if you think you know something. Just disagree and keep it pushing. Shaheed, what's the name of the brother? Clocks in, hey, for sure. You know that I'm trying to tell you, man. When you got, man, listen, that ain't no joke. You got to memorize a page full. Like, I used to memorize them a page at a time. So imagine you having to sit down with somebody and you having to recite a whole page worth of information, of knowledge, and you cannot mess one word up. That's showing you the mental power. When they tell you that you only use 10% of your brain, that's some BS. We can memorize what we want to memorize, man. Like, hey, the brain power is real. The mind power is real. Oh, Shaheed. Oh, so you talking about, yeah, nah, yeah, it tries to, yeah, they don't, yeah, that's a fact. I thought, yeah, nah, that's a fact. I got plenty of, yeah, that's a fact. John Jackson, one of our most prominent scholars on African history, was an atheist. For real. Like, John Jackson, one of our most prominent scholars on African history, himself was an atheist. John Jackson gave us some of the best work as far as African civilizations. Was an atheist. This ain't me telling y'all, oh, y'all need to be atheist. I'm just telling y'all, we got people that can put in this work that from all walks of life. We ain't just got people that can put in this work repping one way of life. We got folks that then gave us African history that have been atheists. We got folks that then gave us African history that have been Christians. We done got folks that have given us history in regards to ourselves that have been everything. You know? For real. And I feel like atheism gets a bad rap too, but that's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother subject. Like, for the lack of morality that people seem to think comes with not believing something, you don't have a bunch of atheists just out here killing folk. Whether y'all want to say these kids or whatever may be godless or whatever the case may be, not guarantee you, if you ask a lot of these kids, a lot of these folks that's doing the killing, do they believe in something? They're gonna tell you yes. They not out here proudly professing to be atheists. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like atheism gets a bad rap. Now, again, this ain't me telling you, hey, y'all need to be atheists. I'm just saying, I'm not one to talk bad about a person simply because they told me they atheists. I know plenty of cool atheists. I know plenty of cool everybody, you know, and that includes atheists. You know, just because they don't believe in a higher power don't make them a bad person. I know plenty of people like that. People consider me that. You know what I'm saying? Although we see it differently, but people consider me that. But it is what it is. You know, I know plenty of good atheists. I know plenty of bad atheists. I know plenty of good Christians. I know plenty of bad Christians. I know plenty of good 5%ers. I know plenty of bad 5%ers. I know plenty of good Muslims. I know plenty of bad Muslims. I know a lot. I don't know a lot of Buddhists. But I'm pretty sure they got a lot of bad ones. You know? But yeah, man, one of our most prominent, John G. Jackson, and he's given us a lot of work on African history. He is an atheist. You know, so it is what it is. I have taken the sacrifice. I done been the black sheep everywhere that I have went. I have been the one that hasn't been afraid to have certain beliefs or to question certain things. So I done been under fire for a lot of the things that I've gravitated towards in my life. I have been under fire for a lot of those things. I'm probably the only 5%er. No, not probably. I'm the only 5%er in my family. So imagine that. Imagine being the only person in your family that's a part of a certain culture. Imagine that. Like, imagine that. I'm the only one in my family that is part of this type of culture. Only one. Only one. Just imagine the life I got to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that. See, people don't be thinking about that type of stuff, man. People don't think about that. But that never stopped me from repping the culture. That never stopped me from speaking on it, from building on it, from being that. Never stopped me. My fam, if they want to disown me, they're just going to have to disown me. But that has never stopped me, fam. That has never stopped me. And all they have seen me do is evolve and grow ever since I started repping the culture. And they can't deny it. You know, so it is what it is. But imagine being the only one in your family that subscribes to a certain culture, certain lifestyle, certain belief system. Imagine how fun that must be. Very exciting. When everybody tells you that, oh, this is just a phase, he gonna grow out of this, and or Oh, this stuff driving him crazy. Or he out here, he a devil worshiper. All this type of stuff, fam. Let's imagine your own family spreading those type of rumors behind your back. All because you seeking some truth out here and you finding things that resonate with you. That's instilling some peace within you. Just imagine that criticism from your own people. Chris, man, I already know. Clocks in. It's exactly. As long as you know you're on the right path, that's all that matters. And Shahid, that is exactly what I have said. I say this all the time. Just because we cannot describe something, just because we can't break something down, don't mean that it has spooky origins. Don't even mean that it has unseen origins. We just can't break it down now. We just can't describe it and define it now. That don't mean that it's some transcendental being behind this because we can't explain it. I used to have that conversation with folks all the time, and people used to think that they had me stumped when they would ask me something about the universe, and I would say, well, I can't explain it. And they'd be like, well, see? I like, man, that don't necessarily have anything to do with anything, man. We just can't explain it. There's plenty of things that we wasn't able to explain 100 years ago that we can explain now. That's life. That's evolution. That's how we evolve. You know, so it's gonna be things that we not able to explain in our lifetime that they gonna be able to explain in the next lifetime. That's life. That's how life works. That's how life works. You know, so I'm not too quick to say since I can't explain it, then it must be some transcendental being, some supernatural reason behind it because I can't explain it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, whoa. Like, all right, I can't explain this, so it must be some supernatural force behind it. Not necessarily. If that's what you subscribe to, cool. But that's not how I'm gonna rock. If I'm looking at something, it's like, oh man, we can't explain this right now. I'm not about to immediately be like, it's some supernatural force behind it. That's just not how I'm wired. Because I understand how, you know, the science goes. You know, as far as us not being able to describe or explain things 150 years ago, now we can explain it. You know what I'm saying? Shahid, don't even get, man, I done had too many conversations on evolution. I don't even like bringing it up because people do not understand evolution. Do not understand it. Do not understand it. And then they give too much credit to Charles Darwin for it. Our ancestors was talking about evolution too. You know, we're not finna just give all credit to white folks just like to receive credit for everything. But nah, evolution, they done made evolution seem like it was some white folk stuff. It is not. Chaz, peace, what's happening? The moment somebody start talking about evolution and the moment somebody say we came from monkeys, then I know you ain't studied evolution. You know what I'm saying? The moment a person say, I don't come from no monkey. Because when you study evolution, and again, I ain't talking about Charles Darwin. Now, like I say, your ancestor, we done came up with everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, we the original people of the planet Earth. Best believe evolution was a topic of discussion before somebody named Charles Darwin. So when I mention evolution, I'm not talking about Charles Darwin. You know what I'm saying? Because again, that conversation started with people that look like me, people that look like you. That's the type I'm talking about. But again, the moment you lie, I ain't come from no monkey. That's not, evolution has never said that. But that'll be a whole nother video, whole nother topic. But when you study evolution, it never told you that you came from a monkey. It never says that. So anybody that says that about evolution, that is wrong. That's incorrect. Evolution has never stated that you came from a monkey. Never. Like that. If that's what you believe evolution is, or evolution has said, that is incorrect, and you got to study that some more because it's never said that. Never said that. Never. But yeah, I done had plenty of conversations about evolution and things like that, man. People don't understand it, and that's cool. That's what we're here for, to teach. You know, but some people not even trying to understand evolution because it goes against their belief system. So that's when you close minded like that, I'm not even gonna try to have that conversation with you. But if you open your mind, evolution is a beautiful thing. Evolution, it will describe a lot of what you currently see. It will explain a lot of what you currently see. It will explain a lot when you allow yourself to be open-minded towards what it actually is. You know, even on an individual level, evolution is real. We always say you evolving as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. That conversation, that's a different conversation, though. Lindell, for sure. For sure. You know, hey, we deal with what's positive. We deal with what's informative. Oh, Chris, you already know. You know, I got a train here in a little minute, but you already know we gonna get it in. We gonna get some sun in. You know, we stand healthy out here. We stand healthy for sure. Chaz, for sure, 100%. The pale faces. You know, listen. I'm finna call them every name. You know, the pale faces. Hey, we like to call them devil. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to call them, the Caucasoid. You know, cave beasts, cave dwellers. I'm finna give them all the names. I don't disrespectfully, all disrespect intended. They the real colored people. You know, they done told you that you colored. That's incorrect. That's the white man is the real colored man. You know, when you run up on that white man, what they do, they turn colors. That's them. They are colored people. We not. We the original people of the planet Earth. They are colored people. They the ones turn these different colors, man. And they done called us colored folks. That's incorrect. So that's what we mean about teaching truth. You know, they done walk around calling us colored folks. Nah, we not colored. That's them. Go run up on a white person right now and scare them half to death. Man, they face finna turn what? They face finna turn what? They finna turn all different type of colors, man. You done seen it. Y'all done been around these folks, man. They turn all different type of colors, man, when they under duress. Under duress, man. Those are the real colored people right there. White folk. That's the real colored folks, not us. We original. We original. You know, so that's what they call trick knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Trick knowledge, man. That's trick knowledge, man. They call us colored when in reality that's them. You know, that's how deep some of this stuff can go. Oh, Khalil, you already know, man. We went on and ignored that. You know, I already fed to see where that was gonna go. I had to ignore that dude commenting. It is what it is. You know, if you about to believe I'm about to burn for eternity, well, let me deal with that, fam. If that's what you think. But I feel like I'm a very peaceful person, man. I help a lot of people. I'm not a disrespectful person. My whole line of work is helping people. You know, help people become a better version of themselves, getting in shape, mentally and physically. So I mean, if that's gonna cause me fire and burning for eternity, that's messed up, fam. That's messed up. But I just let me deal with that. You ain't gotta concern yourself with it. Let me deal with that. If that's gonna be something I got to face, let me face it. Like, I'm just gonna continue to do what I do. I'm gonna continue to help my people, to educate my people, to inform, inspire, motivate, all of that type of good stuff. Uplift, empower. I'm just striving to do that. That's all I'm here for, man. That's it. That's it, man. That's all I want to do. All the other stuff, man, that's extra. You know, all the other stuff is extra, man. But y'all, with that being said, man, I gotta get myself ready, man, to head back up to this gym, man. I went over the time, but it's all good, man. It was a nice build, man. I appreciate everybody taking the time out to tap in with the kid. If you missed the entire build, go back, replay that joint. You know, I'm gonna try to catch y'all, if not tomorrow, maybe. I don't even know one day this weekend, man. Your boy gotta file these taxes, man. That's exciting. But if I don't catch y'all this weekend, I'm going to definitely tap back in with y'all on Monday, man. But y'all be easy out here, man. I appreciate y'all. You know, hopefully ain't nobody take anything I said as disrespect. If so, it definitely wasn't my intention. But, man, y'all be easy out here, man. I'm out. Peace.